Nights at Universal Studios Orlando is one of the most popular Halloween theme park events in the country, if not the world. And this year, for HHN 33, Universal Studios Florida released a video along with an announcement stating that the event would run from August 30th to November 3rd, making this the longest that an HHN event has ever run and the earliest it's ever started. Now, this video was a bit different from other videos from HHN because it focused on a weird image and had the tagline, "Fear cannot be contained." After showing people screaming as they walked through haunted houses and showing the world's premiere Halloween event, the video ended with footage of this door at the end of a hallway. This footage appeared to be taken from a security camera and got people speculating on what could be behind it. Some said Jack, some said fear, and there was a small portion of people who were hoping for an Eddie return, since usually the first thing that gets announced at HHN is the icon, and they thought this could be a teaser for who this year's icon would be. After this video was posted, HHN's Twitter account did some regular trolling until May 9th, when they posted this tweet saying, "They don't want you to know there's something underneath," followed by a lot of gibberish, and a photo of this door. Now, this got people excited because they were figuring maybe it was Jack or Eddie. A lot of people at this point thought Eddie was going to be the icon of the event. And the next day, May 10th, a new video was released showing a connection between this door and the tweet.
I don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to make this quick. I followed those sounds, and I think I'm below Universal. Now, if I saw, but I think I saw, then no one's safe, and it's too late.
Video taken in a low-light area showed a woman saying that she didn't have much time, but she was underneath Universal, and she thought she heard before a security guard interrupted, and she said that no one's safe. Now, one of the most notable things about this video is that in the background you could hear the sounds of people screaming, and the fact that they said it was underneath Universal, causing a lot of people to think back to the teaser campaign for HHN 30 all the way back in 2021. For those of you who are unfamiliar, that year Universal released an ad for HHN called Trapped. This took place underneath the park and showed that Jack the Clown had imprisoned a bunch of people who went to HHN alone. And the screams in this video sounded very similar to the ones in the video that the official HHN Twitter account posted on May 10th. So a lot of people thought this meant it would be either Jack, the original icon of HHN, who debuted all the way back in 2000 for Halloween Horror Nights 10, or his brother Eddie, who was originally supposed to be the icon for HHN 11 in 2001, taking over the reins for this year's event. Then another video was released later that week showing more people trapped underneath Universal. Well, not exactly showing them, more like you can hear it now.
In the Universal Studios, I'm hearing weird things coming from this sewer. Did you hear that?
This video was taken by a man inside Universal Studios Florida, specifically the New York section of the park. He walked up to a drain, claiming he could hear weird noises coming from it, and stuck his phone down near it where we could hear screaming. This continued the storyline of people trapped underneath the park. And some people, because they saw the drain and heard screaming, thought that there would be an It house coming this year, although I doubt that since Stephen King owns the rights to it and not Universal, and I doubt Stephen King would be willing to let them build an It house after the Shining fiasco in 2017, where the Shining was considered one of the weaker houses of the event. Anyway, earlier today, May 14th, another video was released, this time showing something that was either a house announcement or a teaser of a house announcement. The video starts at the end of Halloween Horror Nights 32, where we see a janitor cleaning up. He goes near the drain where he is screaming, and he's gonna turn to look at it, and then they're gonna go down underneath Universal into the tunnels we've seen in the teaser campaign. Now, here we're gonna see the door from the teaser is there. Then we're going to be looking through the tunnels and we're gonna see some kind of strange creature with black skin. It appears to be mucus, and it's gonna emit a powerful roar, which is gonna release a shockwave throughout the park that blows up it off the drain but doesn't cause any damage. Then the sky turns red and we hear sirens. Now this makes me think of 3 possible houses we could be seeing, and I want to discuss them here because one of them is probably coming. The first potential house I would like to discuss is a fan favorite that has returned in for 3 years. 2018 was when it first debuted, 2019 was its first return, and then its most recent appearance was last year for HHN 32. And this house, of course, is Netflix's Stranger Things. Now, this house has kind of decreased in quality over the years, but I still think they could bring it back for this year. People are speculating that Stranger Things could return because they say that the creature we saw in the promo video looks suspiciously similar to a Demogorgon, and the sky turned red, like it did in that 2019 reveal video for the house's second return, and like it did in the original house announcement all the way back in 2018. Now, personally, I doubt that this will happen because they've already brought it back 2 years in a row, and it might get boring for people if they did it again. Although, Stranger Things is pretty popular, so I could imagine it will make a return sometime in the future. I could be wrong about Universal not bringing it back this year. After all, there is a new season coming out this year, and I expect Universal will want to promote it. So I'm going to give this maybe a 50-50 shot of happening. Right now, on to the next house, one we haven't seen since 2012. HHN 22 was the first time that Universal had tried to adapt a video game into a haunted house. And for the game, they picked one of the scariest games out there, which had recently gotten a film adaptation that year, and focused on the response to a fallout disaster that had mutated all the residents of a town into horrific monsters. I am talking, of course, about the horror survival video game Silent Hill, which got representation in the haunted house Welcome to Silent Hill. Now, this house was pretty popular with guests, and people were thinking it could make a return this year for one reason. A lot of people are saying that the alarm that's played at the end of the Fear Cannot Be Contained video released on May 14th of this year sounds a lot like the alarm in the Silent Hill game, and after watching the house announcement video for Silent Hill, I agree with them. I think of all the houses that are rumored, this one's potentially the most likely to happen. I'm giving it a 75% chance of happening. I would absolutely love to see Silent Hill make a return, since I wasn't old enough for horror the first time it came out, and the Silent Hill games seemed really interesting with all their monsters, especially the Pyramid Heads. I'd love to see more of them. And it wouldn't be repetitive, since we haven't seen this house in over 10 years, and people are speculating that this might be a continuation of either the 2012 or 2013 storyline from HHN, which also featured this Silent Hill house and the next house I'm going to talk about, which, contrary to what people may think, is not going to be Alien Romulus, in my opinion. 2013 marked the second year that a video game franchise would be adapted into a haunted house for the Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights. This video game, just like Silent Hill, would be a horror game, only this time it would be more of an adventure style, where you're trying to escape from a city, and there were mutants chasing you around every corner. This was also one of the more cartoony haunted houses, complete with a pause room to make it seem more like a video game. Now, this house was Resident Evil, Escape from Raccoon City, and I potentially see this house making a return this year. I believe that Resident Evil will be returning to Halloween Horror Nights this year, because the mutants in the game look similar to the monster we saw in the video, and also that monster's roar reminds me of one of the roars of the mutants in the Resident Evil video I watched recently. But that's probably not gonna happen, since there's nothing really related to Resident Evil coming out in the next few years, and Universal is probably only considering this like a one and done, especially since the house was kind of shoddily made. But it would be cool to see it. I'm gonna give this a 25% chance of happening. Now, I've picked 3 houses, and the one thing they have in common is they're all IP houses. And now I'll explain why. I have picked IP houses to be the 3 I'm speculating about, because these types of houses tend to be pretty similar, and pop up both in Orlando and California. Now, this may not seem significant, but that'll change once you realize that this video was posted to both the Halloween Horror Nights Orlando and Horror Nights California Twitter pages, which to me means that whatever is being teased here is something that's coming to both Universal Studios Florida and Universal Studios Hollywood. And usually these two parks don't share icons, which means it's probably a haunted house. So, which house do you guys think is coming? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you all next time with another video.